Robert Downey Jr., from rock bottom to Iron Man, RDJ's incredible comeback story. Robert Downey Jr. was born on April 4, 1965, in Manhattan, New York City, into a world that looked glamorous on the surface but was complicated underneath. His father, Robert Downey Sr., was an underground filmmaker known for his bold, unconventional movies. His mother, Elsie Ford, was an actress who appeared in many of his father's films. From the outside, it seemed like Robert was born into creative privilege, surrounded by artists, actors, and the buzz of the film industry. But behind the curtain, there was chaos. His childhood home was filled with creativity, yes, but also instability, addiction, and blurred boundaries. At just 6 years old, Robert was introduced to drugs by his own father. What might sound shocking today was, in his family's world, brushed off as experimentation. That moment would cast a long shadow over his life. As a child, he struggled with feelings of insecurity and loneliness. His parents divorced when he was 13, and Robert moved to California with his father. He later dropped out of high school and returned to New York City to pursue acting full-time. He was talented, brilliant even, but deeply troubled. By the early 1980s, Robert Downey Jr. was already building a name for himself. He joined the cast of Saturday Night Live in 1985 and began landing roles in films like Less Than Zero. Ironically, in Less Than Zero, he played a wealthy young man spiraling into drug addiction. Critics praised his performance, saying it was hauntingly real. It was real because he wasn't acting. His addiction was no longer a shadow, it was his reality. Through the 1990s, Downey's career rose and fell in painful cycles. In 1992, he delivered a stunning performance as Charlie Chaplin in Chaplin, earning an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. Hollywood saw him as one of the most gifted actors of his generation. But addiction doesn't care about talent. Arrests followed. He was pulled over for speeding in Malibu with drugs and a gun in his car. He wandered into a neighbor's house while under the influence and passed out in a child's bed. He violated probation multiple times. Eventually, he was sentenced to prison. Imagine this, one of the most promising actors in Hollywood, sitting in a jail cell, his career in ruins, his reputation shattered. Directors labeled him uninsurable. Studios refused to hire him. He had become a liability. At his lowest point in 1999, Downey spent nearly a year in California substance abuse treatment and state prison. He later described those years as living in a nightmare, waking up each day with regret, shame, and the crushing weight of wasted potential. For many people, that would have been the end of the story. But rock bottom has a strange power. It forces a choice. After his release, Downey relapsed again. He was fired from the TV show Ally McBeal, despite winning a Golden Globe for his role. It seemed like every time he took a step forward, he fell 2 steps back. Yet something inside him hadn't died. A small voice, maybe hope, maybe stubbornness, refused to be silenced. The turning point didn't come in a dramatic movie scene. It came gradually, through pain and support. Downey met producer Susan Levin on the set of the film Gothica in 2003. Unlike many people in his life, Susan had boundaries. She made it clear she would not stay with him unless he committed fully to sobriety. No excuses, no half measures. For perhaps the first time, Robert had something more important than drugs, something worth fighting for. He sought treatment again. He committed to recovery with discipline and humility. He practiced martial arts, embraced meditation, leaned on therapy, and rebuilt his life piece by piece. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't instant, it was daily work, painful work. Slowly, Hollywood began to take cautious notice. Mel Gibson, one of the few who believed in him during his darkest days, paid the insurance bond so Downey could star in 2003's The Singing Detective. It was a small step, but it proved he could show up, perform, and stay clean. Then came the opportunity that would change everything. In 2008, Marvel Studios was preparing to launch a new superhero film called Iron Man. At the time, Marvel wasn't the powerhouse it is today. The studio was taking a risk, and casting Robert Downey Jr., an actor with a history of addiction and legal trouble, seemed like another huge gamble. Many executives resisted. They wanted a safer choice. But director Jon Favreau saw something others didn't. He believed Downey's real-life struggles mirrored Tony Stark's character, a genius billionaire with a reckless past seeking redemption. Downey didn't just play Tony Stark. He was Tony Stark in many ways. When Iron Man hit theaters, it exploded. Audiences were captivated by Downey's charisma, wit, and vulnerability. The film grossed over $585 million worldwide and launched the Marvel Cinematic Universe, one of the most successful franchises in film history. Overnight, Robert Downey Jr. went from being Hollywood's biggest risk to its most valuable asset. But the true victory wasn't the box office numbers, it was the discipline behind the scenes. For years, he maintained his sobriety. He rebuilt relationships with his family. He became a father who was present. He became a husband who was dependable. Success this time wasn't just built on raw talent alone. It was built on stability. As the Marvel films continued, The Avengers, Iron Man 3, Infinity War, and Endgame, Downey became one of the highest-paid actors in the world. Yet he often spoke openly about his past. He didn't hide the prison time. He didn't erase the mugshots. Instead, he reframed them as chapters in a longer story. In 2019, when Tony Stark sacrificed himself in Avengers Endgame, audiences around the world cried. It wasn't just the end of a character, it symbolized redemption, a flawed man choosing courage, a broken hero finding purpose. And in many ways, it mirrored Downey's own life. Beyond the screen, Downey began investing in environmental technology through initiatives like Footprint Coalition, aiming to use advanced tech to clean up the planet. The man who once struggled to control his own life was now thinking about the future of the world. So what can we learn from Robert Downey Jr.'s journey? First, talent alone is not enough. You can be gifted, admired, even famous, and still be one decision away from losing everything. Discipline matters, character matters, the small daily choices matter. Second, rock bottom is not the end. It feels like it, it looks like it, but sometimes it's the foundation for the strongest comeback. Your lowest moment can become the turning point if you choose to stand up. And third, the people you surround yourself with can change your destiny. One person who believes in you, one mentor, one partner who refuses to accept your excuses. That support can mean everything. And finally, your past does not disqualify you from your future. Downey didn't erase his history, he transformed it. The very flaws that once destroyed him became the emotional depth that made him unforgettable as Tony Stark. Today, when people see Robert Downey Jr., they see Iron Man. They see success, humor, confidence, but behind that smile is a man who faced addiction, prison, public humiliation, and the very real possibility of losing his career forever. His story reminds us that redemption is real, that second chances are possible, and that no matter how far you fall, you can rise if you're willing to do the work. Because sometimes the greatest superheroes aren't the ones who wear suits of armor, they're the ones who rebuild their lives from the ground up.